Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and welcome to the NRL Round 1 tips and predictions. Obviously, Vegas is over, and we continue with the remaining of round number 1. It's going to be an exciting weekend of footy, man. A lot of games to look forward to. You got a couple of big games like Melbourne versus Parramatta, a big rivalry game there on Thursday night. Brisbane and Penrith, the prelim final rematch. And then Dolphins and Rabbitohs on Sunday, obviously the Wayne Bennett Cup or whatever you want to call it. So a couple of big games to look forward to this weekend. 6 games. Let's see if we can go 6 for 6 with our NRL footy tips. It's great to be back. Obviously, next weekend's going to be great. I'm going to be down there in Sydney next week. 8 games next weekend. So even though it's round 1, it feels like next week's going to be bigger and better because everyone's playing. So bring it on. Before we get into the round 1 tips and predictions, don't forget, guys, to like the live stream. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've just hit 4,000 subscribers recently. And I want to say hello to everyone that's in the live chat. I hope everyone is doing well. G'day to the OG, CJ Moxley. G'day to Riv R8. G'day to Brendan, who says cows on the bottom. Let's not talk about it, Brendan. Let's not talk about that. Luke Sports Vlogs is here. Jason Reader is here. Everyone else that is watching, I hope you're doing fantastic. And good luck to your NRL team this weekend. Let's get into it. Round 1. Let's go. And like I said, the first game, Thursday night football, we have a rivalry game between Melbourne and Parramatta down there at Amy Park. Now, the game kicks off on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. So, should be a good game, this one. Melbourne versus Parramatta. Melbourne Storm, Parramatta Eels. Having a look at the betting odds, the Melbourne Storm, they are $1.45. The Parramatta Eels are $2.75. Melbourne haven't lost a round 1 game in forever. We all know their round 1 streak is unbelievable. Not really many surprises with their side. I mean, Moses Leo will play centre while Nick Meaney goes onto the wing. Everything else for Melbourne looks fairly standard. Joe Chen and Lasati will be the back row. Alex McDonald is at lock forward. No Trent Liero. Liero must be injured, so he's not available. Parramatta, on the other hand, not many major changes. I mean, Addo-Carr's out, so Sean Russell goes to the wing. Brian Kelly will debut for Parramatta in the centres. Jonah Pezzett and Mitchell Moses are the halves. We all know that will be interesting to see how that does go, actually. Jack DeBellin, new season recruit, he'll be at lock forward. Everything else for Parramatta is pretty much what you'd expect. I think this is going to be a pretty good game for Thursday night. When the round 1 draw came out, originally, I wasn't a big fan of this game being on, but when you look at the storyline with the whole Lomax thing and Jonah Pezzett going to Parramatta from Melbourne, I think this is going to be a very fiery clash, and I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what people think. A lot of people will probably say Melbourne 13 plus, and that wouldn't surprise me one bit. But I think Parramatta will be up for this game, and I think they will give the Storm a difficult game. I think this will be very close. So I'm going to go Melbourne Storm to win. I think they'll just be a little bit too good at home. They don't ever lose round 1. Melbourne to win by 8 points. I think they can get away with an 8-point win. Melbourne by 8. I'm going to go Jerome Hughes to score the first try of the game. I just got a weird feeling about Jerome Hughes. Maybe he'll hit a short ball to Nick Meaney or Moses Leo or something, and Hughes will be on the inside and he'll score. So Jerome Hughes to score the first try. Melbourne Storm to win by 8 points. Should be a good game. Moving on to Friday night football now, and I am actually really excited for Friday night football. I love the two games that have been scheduled for Friday night football. I think it's going to be outstanding. And look, I'm a guy that loves Super Saturday as well. I'm a big Super Saturday fan, but I think both games on Friday night are going to outdo Super Saturday. So the first game is at 6 o'clock, obviously 8 o'clock if you're going to the game in New Zealand at Go Media Stadium. The Warriors, they take on the Roosters, and the Roosters, they are favourites as expected, $1.55. The Warriors are at $2.55. Now, the Warriors, couple of injuries to start the year for them, not what they would want. They've left Pereira out of their side. Tamara Martin's injured. Luke Metcalf is injured. They have a few little injuries to start the year, the Warriors. Not good. Ali Leotawa is at right centre. I'm a big fan of his work. I'm keen to see how he goes. Harris Tavita and Tanner Boyd will be the halves pairing. Jacob Laban has won the back row position over Leka Halasima. Leka's coming off the bench. As for the Roosters, pretty much the same backline as last year. Obviously, the halves now. Daly Cherry Evans at 5'8", Sam Walker at halfback. In my opinion, I think Walker should be the 6 and Cherry Evans should be the 7, but that's just my opinion. Everything else for the Roosters is pretty solid. Connor Watson will come off the bench. He won't start hooker unless I do a late change. But yeah, very strong side for the Roosters. But you can't underestimate the Warriors, especially over there in New Zealand. It's a round one game. The Roosters typically don't always start the year off great, but I feel like even though the Roosters might be a bit clunky with new combinations with Tedesco, Walker, and Cherry Evans all trying to figure it out, I think the Roosters just have enough to beat the Warriors over there in New Zealand. I think the Roosters, the big game players, the likes of Tedesco, I think it's enough for them to get it done. So I am going to tip the Roosters. I'm going to go Roosters by 12. I think the Warriors will give them a game, but I just feel like the Roosters will win on the back of the class of James Tedesco. So Roosters by 12 points. I'm going to go Daniel Tupou to score the first try of the game. I think him up against Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak's defense does concern me, and I feel like the Roosters can expose that. So Tupou to score first. The Sydney Roosters to win by 12 points on Friday night football. Now, the next game, obviously, it's a cracking game Friday night. A blockbuster game. The Brisbane Broncos up against the Penrith Panthers. This game is 8 o'clock New South Wales time. If you're going to the game, it's a 7 o'clock kickoff up in Brisbane. The preliminary final rematch between the Broncos and the Panthers. Huge game this. Brisbane, $1.70. Penrith are at $2.15. Now, I have got nothing written down for this game because I actually don't know who I'm tipping in this game. I think this is going to be down to the wire sort of stuff. We saw Penrith led 14-0 in the prelim last year, and Brisbane came back and they beat them in the final 4 minutes. So, big game. Brisbane's team is pretty much unchanged from what, obviously Jajeski's in the back row with Jordan Ricky. The bench is Hunt, Willison, Tolte, and that Tuawa bloke who they picked up from the Dolphins. He'll be handy for them. As for Penrith, pretty much the same backline as last season. No Liam Martin, which is a bit of a loss. So Luke Garner comes in. Luke Garner is just a really good, do-the-job sort of player. I know Liam Martin is a loss for them, but Luke Garner's done the job so many times. They'll be okay. Yo at 13. Don't mind Penrith's bench as well. I think it's okay with Papali'i. And I didn't mind that Patea fella, number 15 for Penrith. Didn't mind him in the trials. So, the Broncos and Panthers, really hard to pick. Look, I'm going to lean towards the Broncos. I think up at Suncorp Stadium, it is a big factor. It's their first home game since they won the premiership. They were embarrassed in the World Club Challenge. I don't think Brisbane will put two bad performances together like that. I'd laugh my ass off if Penrith won, but I think up there at Suncorp probably be a sellout. 52,000 people. I think the Broncos get away with a pretty close game. I'm going to go the Broncos by 6. I think it'll be a great game for Friday night football. Broncos by 6 points. First try scorer. I think Penrith might score first, guys. I'm going to go Paul Alamotti on the wing to score the first try. Brisbane Broncos to win by 6 points. Looking forward to it. Super Saturday. Super Saturday, lads. Love Super Saturday, but I don't particularly love this game. 5:30, the Cronulla Sharks take on the Gold Coast Titans from the new name of Shark Park, Ocean Protect Stadium. How about Ocean Construction Site Stadium? What a terrible fucking name this is. Can't we just call it Shark Park? Seriously, this is a terrible name, Ocean Protect Stadium. I'm just grateful the Cowboys aren't playing there this year because it's a terrible place. Anyway, Sharks and Titans. Sharks, they are favourites, $1.30. The Titans are at $3.70. Some big news out of the Titans this afternoon, which is not good for them. As for Cronulla, very good back line. Obviously, Ronaldo Mulitalo out for a while, so Sam Stonestreet will get a crack on the wing, which I like. Brayley at hooker, Fanua Blake, Tom Hazelton getting a start in the front row. I do like it. Jesse Colquhoun at 13. The thing I like about the Sharks bench, the thing I like about Cronulla is their bench is strong. Talakai, Rudolph, Kafusi, Hamlin-Uele. Big bench. Big bench. Now for the Gold Coast, they've got this bloke on the wing, number 2. I've never, ever heard of him in my entire life. Fayu Meni, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. Good luck to the kid, but he's in for a tough game. AJ Brimson at 5'8", Keanu Kinney at fullback. Jaden Campbell's injured his hamstring, so Lachlan Ilias will play 7. Gee, that's a big loss, losing Jaden Campbell. Far out, man. That's a big loss. Arana Ha'u. I have no idea who he is. He's playing in the back row. Good luck to him. Cooper Boy on the bench with Cleese Haas, Curtis Morin. Interesting. Look, I would love to see the Titans cause an upset at the construction site, but I feel like down there in the Shire, in front of their 12,000 fans, the Sharks win, and I think the Sharks win very well. This might be the biggest flogging of the weekend. I'm going to go Cronulla by 20 points. I think they win well here. Sharks by 20 points. I'm going to go first try scorer to be KL Ero. I think Ero scores the first try. Sharks by 20. If the Titans win, I'll be a little bit surprised, but I feel like Jaden Campbell is too big of a loss. So Sharks win by 20. Now, Saturday night, a bit like the Broncos and Penrith game, I've got nothing written down for this because this is a really hard game to pick. The Manly Seagulls up against the Canberra Raiders, Saturday night, 7:35 p.m. this game kicks off. Beautiful Brookvale Oval, the Northern Beaches. Having a look at the betting odds, though, both teams are $1.90 each. $1.90 each. So take your pick. I don't know. This is a hard game to call, man. Having a look at Manly side. Turbo's at fullback. Cooler in the centers. Ruben Garrick in the centers. I just don't like it. Ruben Garrick in the centers. He just gets caught out in defense too much for my liking. So maybe Seb Chris for a try in this game. I don't know. But looking at the sides, Luke Brooks, Jamal Fogarty, new halves pairing. Keen to see how that goes. Paseka, Takiyaho up front. On the bench, though, Jubby Walsh, Kobe Hetherington, Ethan Bullymore, Nathan Brown. That's a solid bench from Manly. I think I've named a good bench. As for Canberra, some big surprises, man. And there goes my mobile phone. You got to be joking. Let me pick it up. Sorry, guys. That is absolutely shocking from my point of view. As for the Raiders, man, so Simi Sasungi will play right centre, replacing Matt Timoko, who's been left in the reserves. I know Matt Timoko had a really rough final series with his defence, but he is not playing in this game, which is a bit of a surprise. Ethan Strange, Ethan Sanders are the new halves for Canberra. Noah Martin in the back row with Hudson Young. Brayley, Hosking, Mariota, and Smithies on the bench. I can't believe Matty Nicholson is not starting over Noah Martin. That's a surprise. But look, Manly versus Raiders down at Brookvale, tough game to pick. Really tough game to pick. I don't know which way to go here. I think I'm going to lean towards Manly just because it's down there at Brookvale Oval. I feel like it's a bit of a fortress. When Manly are on, it can be a fortress. And I think the Raiders, I don't know, man, they could surprise again and win. And nobody would be surprised if Canberra won this game. But I don't know. I feel like Manly at home may get the job done. So I'm going to lean towards Manly. I'm going to go Manly by 8. I think Manly by 8 points here. I think it's going to be a good game. First try score is a tough one to select. It really is. But I'm going to lean towards Lehigh Hopawate to score the first try for Manly. Manly to win by 8 points. It should be a pretty good game. And the final game of the round, Sunday afternoon, up at Suncorp Stadium, 4 o'clock kickoff. But if you're going to the game, it's actually a 3 o'clock kickoff. The Dolphins take on the Rabbitohs, and the Dolphins actually are the favourites at $1.85. The Rabbitohs are $1.95. Now, looking at the teams, Dolphins, Avarillos are actually at right centre. Herbie and Cobbo will be together. I don't mind that. I really don't mind that. Gilbert, Flegler up front. Morgan Knowles at lock forward. I actually like that a lot, eh? I actually like that. Dolphins bench, though, that's a concern. The Dolphins have only got one front rower on the bench. Like Kafusi's their main front row on the bench. I've got Snyder and Trey Fuller both. I don't know why they're both in there. Keely, Kafusi, unless you move one of the other back rowers into the middle. It's a weird one for me. As for the Bunnies, Jai Gray gets the fullback spot. Latrell goes to left centre. AJ is good to go. He's on the wing. Walker and Ashton Ward are the halves. Well, I got Keon up front. Bronson Garlick is at hooker because Cheese is out until next week or the week after. Mamazoulis is on the bench. Ewan Aiken starting at right edge back row over Tallis Duncan is a surprise. Hubner, Kepi, Mamazoulis, Duncan. Interesting bench. South's got a bit more variety on the bench. Look, Dolphins Rabbitohs is interesting for me because, like, the Dolphins record in round ones, I think it's 1-2. I think they're 1-2 in round ones. The Rabbitohs, they tend to start well some seasons. I think they beat the Dolphins last year, but it was in Sydney because of the cyclone stuff that happened. But look, I know the Dolphins are favourites here. I know what I get it. They're favourites because they're at home, but I think South win this game on Sunday. And to be completely honest with everyone watching this right now, I'm going to be brutally honest here. I think South win well. I think the Rabbitohs will be too good on Sunday. The Dolphins the Dolphins don't have a lot of fours on the bench. I think they're going to be relying heavy on Gilbert and Flegler to play big minutes. They only just came back from injury. Souths look ready to rock and roll. They've got a good side there. I think Souths win this game on Sunday, and I actually think Souths win well. $1.95 for the Bunnies. 13 plus. I'm telling you guys, Rabbitohs win 13 plus. I'm going to go the Rabbitohs by 18 points here on Sunday afternoon. I think the first try scorer is going to be David Fafita. I think he scores the first try of the game. Rabbitohs win by 18. I'm going Rabbitohs by 18. I think they win well on Sunday afternoon. So just quickly before we wrap it up here, we're going to go Melbourne to beat Parramatta 1-12 on Thursday night. Roosters to beat the Warriors 1-12 on Friday night. Broncos, I think they will beat Penrith on Friday night 1-12. Sharks to beat the Titans 13 plus. Manly to beat the Raiders 1-12 there. And I'm going to go the Rabbitohs 13 plus. I think they'll be a little bit too good for the Dolphins, who seem to be missing some forwards still. But that's where my round one tips come to an end, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll be live in about 2 hours for episode number 4 of the Sports League podcast. So join me and CJ later on for the podcast. But they're my tips. Let me know who you're tipping in the comments section down below. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Good luck to your team this weekend. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.